is good, guys? We are back with our trade recaps. All right, let's get into trade recaps. First and foremost, I just want to say that I did end up switching firms. I'm with Alpha Futures now. Okay, maybe I'll try to get some sort of sponsor by them. Hopefully, we can get that happen. But yep, I am switching to Alpha Futures. I am away from Top Step. All that Top Step. It's the downfall of Top Step. Do not trade with Top Step, guys. Top Step is not the best firm now. Okay, Alpha Futures, Tradeify. These are the big guys. Alpha or not Alpha, Apex as well. Researcher firms. Okay. Top Step's just added a lot more rules, but yes, they are the cheapest. So if you do need just a cheap way to start, then Top Step's probably the way to go. Okay. But yeah, I also switched to TradingView. All right, I bought some subscriptions, so now I am trading on TradingView, and it has been a whole hassle trying to navigate this. Okay, I used to trade on TradingView, believe it or not, a while back. I used to trade Forex, GBP, USD, GBP, JPY, when I was actually learning trading. But now I, kind of moved away and traded with TopStep for a really good while now, and then I moved away from Forex and TradingView as a whole. And yeah, okay. So let's get into the market, the trade that I ended up taking, the two trades, sort of. As you can see, these are my executions. You will always know when I take a trade, when I don't take a trade. If you see these executions, these little red, these little blue things, okay, I'm always going to have these executions on to show you that I'm actually taking the trade, okay. I took 2 break-even trades resulting in, here's the account balance, there's blah, 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 like $9 lost, okay. So that's pretty much that. We do have these. Trade looks like it's honestly trade played out. Right idea, right everything. Today was a beautiful day, and I'm going to show you guys why it was, okay? So let's go into replay mode, and let's replay open, okay? All right. So I'm just going to show you guys what I was looking for coming into open, all right? I was coming into open, and I was thinking, I was like, okay, let's look at the higher time frame. It's really, really accumulating. It's really just in a range here. So what do you think I should do in a range? You should, have a very neutral bias, like a lot of conditions, right? When I mean conditions, I mean if these things happen, then I'll be shorting. If these things happen, then I'll be longing on the day. I'll be bullish, I'll be bearish, etc. Okay. So I did see that we did end up sweeping out this sell side liquidity on Monday, which is yesterday, right? Swept out the sell side liquidity and delivered this 4-hour bullish IFVG, all right? But then I look at ES, right? And at the same time, ES was super bearish, because we did not end up inverting that 4-hour gap, okay? So it was kind of an iffy type thing. But I was like, okay, I'm going to stick by my bullish bias just because this looks super clean for longs. And what happened was I set these conditions in my Discord where I said I would like to see today be bullish, right? And sweep out sell side liquidity, deliver a 4-hour IVG. 30-minute gap with London lows is a great place for a reversal. I'm anticipating a juice swing at open. However, we could also displace higher to the new week opening gap and previous day high potentially, or we could inverse the 30-minute gap and look for shorts. Okay, so see all these conditions I had laid out, right? We could just pump, we could manipulate and do exactly what I thought was going to happen, which actually did end up happening, or we could just displace lower and then go for previous day low, which was just right here. Okay, so back to the charts. Let's go back here, right? We have this, right? We have this area. This is the area I'm anticipating a reversal to probably happen. This is a really good area, all right? As you can see, I said this at 8:30, so it didn't even play out yet, right? But what ends up happening is we end up just accumulating and then putting in a lot of low resistance liquidity, okay? We put in a lot of low resistance liquidity to the upside. We take out a lot of resistance liquidity as well to the downside, all right? We put in this, giant candle to then sweep out London low. Okay, if you guys are thinking, would I take this 1-minute inversion gap to the upside? The answer would be maybe. because if it did have a lot of momentum, like let's see there was a giant candle like something like this, then yes, I would definitely long. But let's say it barely just closed here, I probably wouldn't, just because it's not as like obvious. It's not like a, oh, that's an eyesore, like I can see it from across the room. Could I see that from across the room? Not really, you know. It doesn't look too high probable. So then we end up coming lower, okay? And then we end up putting in, if it loads, we put in an SMT with this. And as this was happening, this is what I was saying to myself. I'm saying, okay, I'm looking at ES, right? And what happened was we ended up taking previous day low, okay? And I was like, okay, well, let's think here, guys, all right? Both pairs need liquidity to actually move, okay? If ES takes previous day low and NQ takes London low, those are both high quality pieces of liquidity. Those are really good liquidity, like session liquidity and daily liquidity, right? Really good places. So I was like, okay, if it takes London low, it respects this 30-minute gap and it puts in an SMT, that's longs. That's A plus longs. A plus setup, right? Gap, liquidity sweep, SMT, highest time frame inversion of the manipulation leg, it's A plus setup, okay? And what ends up happening is exactly that. We put in, we get this giant candle, this Drake to the upside, right? Huge Drake candle, right? And then we end up putting in this 3-minute inversion, right? And then it plays just like this. It plays up to this buy side beautifully. You're like, well, Cole, why didn't you take it? I didn't see any execution marks, Well, little Timmy, I ended up not being able to take it because I did not know how to click buy. I know. I did not know how to click the buy button, okay? Because when you hit buy, it normally doesn't look like this, right? Or, well, let me get out of replay for a second. It normally doesn't look like this. You click buy, and then it allows you to see your risk and stuff like that. But I had this as like units, and I didn't know how many units to risk because I didn't know how much money I wanted to put in. I wanted to risk 500, 700, something like that. And I just was frantic, and I was like, okay, well, this inverse isn't blah blah blah. This is gonna play out. So I was kind of frantic, right? And I didn't know how many units to risk, so I just I didn't take a trade. And then once I finally found a risk USD, and I could see how much I was actually risking, that's when I started executing really good high quality trades. Okay, so this was an A plus setup. This was the best setup I've ever seen this month. This was the best setup of the month by far. Maybe even year. Best setup of the year potentially as well. This is probably one of the best trades I've called out in lifetime. And it's unfortunate that I did not take it because it was such a good setup, such an easy setup as well. And yeah, but as I said, I did not take this trade. And what happens is we end up, coming back down, and we do form a 5-minute gap, right? We form this 5-minute gap. So I was like, okay, we could potentially continue higher to this new day opening gap. This is where I'd want to see price, sort of continue from. We should continue from this 5-minute gap, continue higher to this new day opening gap. And potentially all these stacked up highs appear, right? That's what I want to see happen. I'm really bullish, really bullish, right? Because we displaced this buy side liquidity. So what ends up happening is we end up coming lower, right? We end up coming lower inside this 5-minute gap. I had my Fibonacci drawn out for this OTE, and we don't end up tapping it, but I'm really just super bullish, and I'm super bullish, and I have a lot of conviction in this trade, okay? So let's get into the trade I actually took, okay? The one that actually played out and stuff like that, okay? So what ends up happening is we come lower, all right? We tap into a 15-minute BPR, okay? So we form a 15-minute gap, right? And not only a 15-minute gap, a 15-minute BPR, which is a balanced price range. And if you guys don't know what a balanced price range is, I'll give you a quick rundown, but I'm going to be going over all these concepts in the bootcamp, which I teach you everything, my concepts, my strategy, completely for free, okay? So what a BPR is, it is a balanced price range. It's where, price is very balanced. It's very, great. It's just great for respecting and then reversing and continuing in the same direction. Okay, it's just like a better fair value gap. Okay, just think of it like that. So we end up tapping into this 15-minute BPR, right? And we end up coming down here, right? And then I was like, in real time, I was like, okay, I would like to see this form a 1 minute instead of a 30 seconds so I could actually get an entry because my plan does not support 30-second. I know, I'm broke. But then we get this 1 minute IVG, okay? We get this 1 minute IVG, and this is where I enter. This looks like a great candle. This is a beautiful candle, okay? This is a beautiful candle, all right? So this is where I bought in the trade, right? Right here. Stop loss was right here at the low. And as we can see, price ends up coming up or coming down and then ends up coming back up here. Right? I was kind of scared here, but I had a lot of conviction. And it kind of plays around. And then it comes up to here, so we go break even, right? Actually, it wouldn't break even at like this 5 minute, but this is also a good break even. Right, so we go break even there, and then price ends up coming down and tapping our break even point, right, after going super high, okay? So we get break even right there, okay? That's pretty much that. And as you can see, if we exit replay in real time, whoa. All right, my chart is geeking out for some reason. I don't know. Just there should be a candle here. I don't know why there's not. But yeah, this was the trade I took. Okay. You're probably wondering what is this second trade? The second trade is if we inverted this 5 minute, which we basically did, and I thought we did, so I hit buy. Obviously we didn't, so I went break even pretty much immediately, and then I just closed the trade. So that's that, and then we come down. We just chop around, and honestly, this is just a sloppy and choppy delivery. So we should have just pumped and just caught this move just right here, But again, it is what it is. I had the right bias, the right everything, great executions. I missed the trade of the day. Hopefully one of you guys actually took that, all right? Because that was beautiful. Really, really nice. Literally the strategy playing out perfectly, okay? Anyways, that is that, guys. All right, this is the trade recap. I'm gonna get more content on the YouTube. I know I've been slacking a lot recently, okay? Trust me, I'm locking back in, and we're gonna get a lot more content to you guys, all right? And I'm gonna go over how I actually moved away from Top Step and what was the reasoning behind it, okay? So yeah, stay tuned for that video. I'm gonna be uploading that today. And yeah, if you have any questions, always free to shoot me a DM, anything like that. I'm happy to teach you guys for free personally as well. Just join my Discord, join other likewise traders to be able to take trades just like this, except winners, obviously. No one really wants a break even. But yeah, that is what it is, and that is going to do it for today's trade recap. I'll leave you guys. Have a good one. Peace out. That's it. See ya.